Hey guys, hope you're having a good night. So I'm gonna just pull some cards and just kind of get some messages and see kind of what Spirit says. I know I feel like I've talked about this before, but a lot of us are ending cycles and we're getting different bits of clarity than we were before. Like we might actually start understanding the cycles we were in, like what it means and how it's a little bit different than what we were thinking. Seeing kind of our patterns and our like underlying emotional belief systems and stuff, but also seeing how it's ending, like where it's ending, how it's ending, and bringing us to the next phase. So a lot of us are like wrapping it up right now, and it's bringing us to kind of the next phase, which for a lot of people should be within the next few weeks. So from when you see this, I feel like I want one more card for this. Something else, I don't know. My brain's not like totally functioning, so I can't really think of, yeah or no. Okay. What's this one that's popping out? The World card, which is the ending of cycles. Sage, stop. Sorry, she's like distracting the shit out of me. So this card popped out, and I just asked if they wanted me to take this. So the Leap of Faith card, it says believe in yourself, listen to your heart. So the clarity I was just talking about, what kind of Spirit is saying to me is there. Hold on, let me throw something to her because she's like already distracting the shit out of me. Hold on, come here. This is why I have this stuff here just for you. So some of you, it's like the clarity you thought you needed, you don't actually need. There was something that there was like a fear there, or there was some type of belief there, and you thought you needed clarity on something and you realized you don't. It's just kind of like a fear or a wall or something like that. For some of you, and it could be any or all of these for you, there's something with you, like you know something and you trust it, but you're not moving toward it. Like you're not actually making the outward changes toward it, even if you know it's true and your intuition tells you and you can see it's what you want. It's like you're not making decisions toward it. And for some of you, it feels just like a lot of emotions, and it's like you're just feeling a lot of doubt. Like you're feeling like stuck in a cycle, like things are never going to change, things are not going to get any better, and it just feels like you're losing like faith and trust in like the process, the journey, kind of what's going on. If you're in that energy, Spirit's just saying like things are going to get better. Like things are not going to stay the same. Like you're not always going to feel this way. You know, anything that you're going through that's heavy, it doesn't ever, you're going to drop it and I'll throw it for you. It doesn't fully last. Like it doesn't stay that way. Like, you know, sometimes like the transitions and like the healing is like a longer period of time than you realize it, but you might just not understand like why you're feeling what you're feeling. And for some of you that are feeling really stuck right now, it feels like a lot of like the past energy that is coming up right now. Like as you have been getting perception changes and you've been kind of gaining awareness and clarity, and you've been making shifts and stuff in your life and changes, like it's bringing up old energy. It's bringing up things that you need to heal and clear, and it's bringing up old feelings. So you might have like a lot of like conflict in your mind, or a lot of like thought conflict, a lot of energy conflict with your emotions and your thoughts and all of that. But it's clearing things. Like that's kind of the purpose of what's going on. So it just feels, I don't know, like a lot of like sadness and heaviness, just like just feeling like very weighed down and heavy. And you might be going in and out of those energies, and it could also relate to like different situations that you're into. So I'll just tell you what they're telling me. We got 2 of Michael and 4 of Michael. So with this 2 of Michael, okay, I think I'm just like channeling a few different groups of energy because I keep getting a lot of different like messages with each card. So like with this, it's it will all be better if you just make a decision over analyzing a problem, finding a compromise. It's like some of you, it feels like this indecisiveness. Hold on, they want me to explain it with the Four of Michael, which is insights that come from quiet meditation, the need for more sleep or time off secretly from stress. So these definitely go together. And I was going to just say the one, and they want me to say it with this, is like some of you guys are kind of in this like going back and forth energy. Where's the ball? Where's the ball? Where's the ball? Where's the ball? Oh, there it is. Here. Yusuf, thank you. With this like going back and forth energy, it's like you say you want something, but then something happens or disappoints you or whatever, and then you kind of run away, or you push it away, or you lie to yourself and say you don't want it or whatever. So it feels like some of you, it's like kind of running away from what you want because of whatever, you know, I just said. And so it's like you need to make a decision and stick with it. Like, what is it that you really, truly want? And stick with that and stop running away just because you're scared. Like if it's something that's unhealthy or it's something that's like bad or it's something that's hurting you or whatever, and you know, your decision needs to change, that's one thing. But like, it doesn't feel like that. It more so feels like something you actually desire and want, and you keep going back and forth on it. Like you keep telling yourself something and then running away, and telling yourself something and then running away. So like make a decision, stick with it, which means stop running away from shit and like stick with shit when it gets hard. Everything's not always going to be easy. Everything's not always going to be calm. Things are going to feel overwhelming. Things are going to feel heavy. They're going to feel whatever. But like, if it's something you truly want, like stop like running back and forth. Like make a decision and stick with that decision. Oh my God, my eye is so itchy. Spirit's saying also, like, if you are in that energy, look at why you keep doing that. Like, go deeper and look at, like, why do you keep doing that? Like, where did you learn to, like, just kind of give up or throw things away or run away from something when it's something you're scared of? And look at, like, why you keep running away, if you're doing that or if you keep just going back and forth, right? The other thing I get is also this internal conflict of, like, your mind of, like, I know what I want, and like you can feel like the intuition of it, but then you get hit with like the underlying fears and kind of really what your blockages are. That's what's really coming up, your blockages and what you're releasing. So they might feel real at the time because your thoughts are kind of going, but a lot of that's old stuff. With this card and kind of the message that it's getting is you guys need to find balance. And the way you're going to find balance is by taking time to stop with distractions. Like the biggest one is stop with distractions. Like let go of distractions, like walk away from them, whether it's people that are distracting you, stop fucking distracting yourself with people that aren't aligned with what you want. If it's like specific situations or it's, you know, hobbies, behaviors, bad habits, and you're doing things to kind of distract from facing what you need to, like start. You always knock this crystal down. Always. The same one. Where's the bowl? You know, like, speaking of distractions. Hey, stop distracting yourself and start balancing. So when you're having a lot of emotions coming up or you're having a lot of things you're trying to figure out, the more time you take to sit with your emotions to kind of see what it is you really actually want and to kind of go deeper within, you're going to get the clarity, you're going to get the answers, but you have to stop putting yourself in situations where you're overworking, where you're hanging out with people all the time, where you're constantly staying busy, where you're doing behaviors and like I told you, like relationships, behaviors, things that aren't aligning with you. Stop doing all that extra shit and start sitting by yourself. Stop distracting. Sit alone and feel your shit and deal with it. And like, whether that means kind of spacing from people in your life, whether that means taking time off of work, or like even going on like a mini like weekend vacation or something and just going for, you know, a long drive and being by yourself, or just kind of turning off all electronics, like all that type of stuff, and just meditating or sitting with yourself or going to a park, whatever it is for you, sitting with yourself and getting that answer. Because a lot of you guys, it's like, they're saying it's like you're lacking clarity, and I say that in quotes because you're not actually lacking clarity. What you're doing is you're afraid to it feels like a lot of people are, oh my God, I can't fucking talk today. A lot of people are trying to distract because they're actually scared of their truth. They're actually scared of all kinds of different stuff. Some of you is actually a fear of getting what you want. So it's like you're trying to distract from what you're actually feeling, and like you need to really resolve that like back and forth energy with yourself so you can make a decision and stick with it. Like they're saying it's not too late to start now. Like make it, don't do it. I see you. Don't do it. Make a girl, make a decision and stick with it. By the way, I just want to say this because I was just thinking how cute she is. Ooh, spiritual union cranking out. I was watering my plants tonight and I saw the cutest little baby fucking lizard like on my plant. I was like, oh my God, it was so small. It was fucking, yeah or no? It didn't pop. I don't know, whatever. It was so cute and small. The waiting game. Bitch, that's the third time you knocked my crystal over. Sage. Hello. I keep throwing stuff to you. Bring the same thing back. All right, I'm trying to pick it up. The waiting game with the Harmony card, it popped, but it didn't actually come out, so I'm not going to take it. But with that waiting game one, it definitely feels like this. Did I say this before? Because I got this before. I forgot if I said it. Is like, oh yeah, I did. It's like some of you, it feels like you're running out of time, or like it's too late, and it's not too late. Like if you make the choice today to stick with what you want, then it's naturally going to work out. Like, don't even worry about it. Okay, we got it. Oh, wow, shit. This has something to do with a commitment. So, a commitment, oh my God, is not necessarily, I mean, it could be relationship commitment too, but it could be commitment to yourself. It could be a commitment to life. It could be a commitment when making like a decision for like a business or a job or whatever the fuck it is for you. Some type of commitment that you guys are not wanting to make, or you're not fully committing to, something that you need to fully commit to, okay? Whatever it is for you. So with this, there's still like a lack of trust or confidence with it. And it feels like, just like this self-imposed, like, it's like, I almost can't even like talk. It's like, it's self-imposed, right? It's like, and if you look at the disruption card, it's literally, you're not even like shackled. You're like, you're just like blocking yourself. Like literally this is exactly what that card is. Like you're blocking yourself. And it's because there's this lack of self-esteem, this lack of confidence, this lack of self-trust, this lack of like self-reassurance. That's the words they're saying to me. So I'm just telling you what they're saying to me. And it's like, you're literally like blocking yourself. And it's like, you know, you're blocking yourself and yet you keep doing it. Oh my God, please stop. She almost knocked a bunch of shit over. Sage, you are distracting the fuck out of your mom today. Hey, can I have a kiss? No, you know what? No. Fuck this. Come here. You're gonna give me... No. No. You're gonna get mom's love. Stop your shit. Give me love. Give me kisses. But it's like you're blocking yourself. And this goes with the other message, which is you need to take that time, because this all feels like the same ass message of like, there's something you want and you keep going back and forth on it. And it's like, you're needing to commit to it. You're needing to go within. You're needing to see like deeply what it is you want. Stop lying to yourself. Stop distracting, like all that. It's pretty much all the same message together about like one or more situations. Okay. So that's what this is. But they're saying like this lack of like reassurance. Like some of you guys have like a lack, like you're not getting the reassurance you need from yourself or the situation. And so it's kind of making some of you guys go into fear mode, it feels like. We got spiritual union and mental conflict. I feel like I already said this. This is like where there's, and if you notice, it's like two people. It's like this conflict with yourself of what you want, what you desire, all the stuff with your past kind of creeping back in, the fears kind of creeping back in, your inner child traumas that you haven't fully healed kind of creeping back in. It's kind of all of that stuff. And some of you, it definitely could have to do with a relationship, or it could have to do with some type of connection that you have with somebody. It's definitely something spiritual though. Like, because I was gonna say something else and they're like, don't say that. It's a spiritual union card. So for some of you, it's going to be a connection with somebody else, and or with yourself, and bringing balance to it, like understanding things more clearly. And they're saying the same message they said before, which is you need to take that time to go within to see what you really want and make decisions based on that. Stick to it. They just keep, I'm going to tell you what because they keep emphasizing this so fucking strongly. Take the time, sit by yourself, without distractions, very strongly with the distractions shit right now. Without distractions, what do I want? What do I want? Whatever you're stuck with, whatever you're trying to make a decision on, what do you want? And then all of your behaviors and actions need to align with that. And they keep emphasizing it's not too late. Like they keep saying over and over, it's not too late. If you make that decision today, doesn't matter how long you've been in this cycle. If you make the decision today and you make the choices to stick with it, trust it's going to happen for you. If it's right for you, it's going to happen for you. Trust that. Stop. And they were saying like, it just takes one moment just today to do that, to make that change. It takes one moment for you to make that decision and keep sticking with it. And every time something comes up that triggers you, you work through that fear, you work through that blockage, you release it so you keep stepping forward to what you want. And it's going to bring balance and it's going to bring more clarity and more answers. And you're going to understand the process a lot more and why it happened the way it did and why you felt all the heaviness and why all of the things were coming up that they were coming up, because it's teaching you something. It's helping you see something clearly within yourself you didn't see before. It's helping you see shadows within yourself, traumas within yourself, your perceptions, belief systems. And it's helping you change all of those things that are actually blocking you from that end result, that desire. And you're coming to the end of the cycle, and there's a reason for that. We got the postponement card. So I love how they keep saying it's not too late. It's not too late. We got the waiting game that popped. And then we got the postponement card. So a lot of like timing issue stuff with this. A lot of balance, timing issue. Yeah or no? I should have pulled that card before it came up a few times. So we got postponement, control, and understanding. And on the bottom, we got letting go. With the comparison card and the courage. So it's interesting because with the comparison card, this is not normally what like they channeled to me, but it's almost like these two different paths, P-A-T-H-S. I feel like I said that are weird. Paths. Where it's like you imagine yourself going one way and it happened the way you wanted it, but not the way you realized you wanted it. Like you thought you wanted and needed one thing, but like once you started seeing the truth and reality of stuff, you realize you actually are getting what you need and what you actually truly want, like what you've been hiding from yourself. And the more that you keep blossoming and you keep healing and you keep dealing with stuff, the more you're actually seeing those old things you thought you wanted, they no longer resonate because you're not that same person. Because where you're doing things out of fear and trauma based, you're doing things out of empowerment and love and soul based. And so you're kind of starting to see where you took this journey and this path in a direction that was completely different than where you actually wanted to go. So a lot of what's going on is like a releasing, and some of you is a grieving of who you used to be and what you experienced, and a lot of those feelings and the pain and stuff from the past you didn't deal with before. And so you're actually like releasing it and like letting it go. And I love how we have the new vision, because every time I pull from this deck, I feel like this card keeps coming out, which is literally like a rebirth. It's like shedding the old and like empowering yourself and freeing yourself. Okay, so we got the postponement, control, and understanding. There's definitely this like timing issue thing. And part of that like indecision energy and that back and forth energy Spirit's saying is part of it's like a fear control energy. Like, if I can control things, or it's almost like this resistance, trying to control situations, trying to control outcomes, trying to control timing and all this stuff instead of actually letting it go. And it feels like it's a safety thing. It feels like there's something going on. I also keep getting, for some of you, there was a delay. Like there's some type of delay that happened. You thought something was going to happen and then it didn't. You thought it was going to happen and then it didn't. And it kept on getting delayed. But as time is progressing and time's passing, you should be seeing how you're trying to hold on to things that weren't true in the moment or true then. And you're trying to control situations out of fear and out of trauma. And a lot of you guys should be getting the understanding. Like the more you're healing and the more that things are like shifting, you should be getting more understanding. And what I love about this is we go from, you know, this, whatever you wanted didn't happen. And it created this almost like fear, wanting to control things, or wanting to, some of you it feels like holding on to things too tightly, and some of you it feels like pushing things away because of it. But with the understanding card, it's like this sense of freedom and this sense of peace and this sense of relief and this sense of understanding of why this was delayed, why you didn't get what you wanted when you wanted it. And it was because there was something you needed to release, or something you needed to see. There's still blockages there. Like if it was meant for you right in this moment, you would have it right in this moment. Like if it's not here right now, it's because there's still stuff that you're needing to release. There's still things that you're needing to heal. With all that being said, a lot of things are, and it's funny because I just like lifted like a bunch of cards. I was trying to see what direction the cards go in, and we got turning in. So definitely a lot with like the meditation going within and like not distracting, but a lot of you guys should be getting that clarity right now. Like you should, if you're taking the time and actually dealing with your stuff and not distracting, you should be getting the clarity to the cycles and why things were delayed, why things didn't happen the way you wanted them to, but the way you needed them to. And you should be starting to get the insight and starting to see things in a different perspective. And I talked about this in the last reading, which was almost a week ago, where you were going up the hill and you had whatever you wanted, or you saw what you wanted, or you got excited about it, whatever it was at the beginning of the journey, and you kind of went up the hill and all these things happened. And then we kind of went on the back side of the hill where we're seeing the opposite side of it, where we're feeling the opposite energy, and we're seeing the shadow of what we were seeing, the mirror of what we were seeing before. And as you're coming to the bottom of the hill, you should be getting that clarity and that understanding of why that whole journey just occurred. And for some of you, you know, like that journey has been a few years. I know for me, like I didn't even know I was in this cycle until like 2 days ago. Like I knew some of the cycles I was in, but I didn't realize this other cycle that I was in or what purpose it had until, was it yesterday? Today? I don't even remember. Like it doesn't even matter. And it's part of my spiritual purpose and what part of what I'm here to do, and helping people, and like what I'm going to be, I don't know how have the full clarity, but what I'm going to be doing in the next steps of my journey. But all of those things happened the way they were supposed to, because I needed to feel certain things and heal certain things and go through this big spiritual like progression in order for me to be able to do what the next part of my journey is to do. So a lot of it's releasing, healing, education, information, and preparing. And then you start getting clarity, and then it starts coming in a little bit. Like you'll start seeing some future stuff, or you'll start thinking about stuff for the future, and then you'll kind of get like the clarity or information right afterward or shortly afterward and stuff like that. if you're not in that energy right now, then save this video. And like, whenever you remember to watch it. Because it might not be for everybody who's watching it. You'll know because you would already, this should just be validation. If what I'm saying resonates with you, it should be validation. It's not, it shouldn't be anything new for you. Like some of it might be, but most of it should be just kind of like validation or kind of understanding to what you're going through. Just give you a little bit more clarity or guidance. All right, let's pull and then, nope. I was like, I keep seeing the signs card, but it's not popping out. The cards are being weird as fuck right now. They definitely want to come out. They're just, there we go. Look at that. We got 2 inner child out of 3 cards. 2 out of 3. Okay. We got the self-love card on the bottom. This feels similar energy, like, damn, I can't talk. This feels like similar energy to the solar plexus chakra, where some of you guys aren't really giving yourself the love that you deserve. You're not really giving yourself the attention you deserve. The validation you deserve. You're not really, and I just realized this is the I deserve and validation card. As I said that, I looked down, I'm like, duh. You're not giving yourself what you need. You're not listening to your feelings. And it definitely has to do with your inner child. A lot of people have been walking around in their inner child energy for a few months and like just kind of stuck, just kind of in limbo. That's what I've been collectively feeling. And the people I've been meeting at the shop, it's been kind of the same thing. Is like, okay, I'm going to try to explain it. It's like, when I say the inner child, it's like the child version of you and what you didn't get when you were a kid. So you have your like adult energy, your conscious logical mind that you're in, like present energy, right? As an adult. But that little kid in you, that 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old, I usually feel like most people's inner child internal energy is between 4 and 7 years old, from what I felt from people. But, you know, take it however it is for you individually, but mostly people are in that energy. And it's where you kind of develop the sense of self, where you started developing these beliefs in yourself or the doubts in yourself, feeling enough, feeling worthy, and all of these things, or not. And where you started either becoming like how your coping skills for things, how you handled things and stuff like that. So what's going on is, as we're healing and a lot of things are coming up, we're getting triggered, things that aren't meant to be or falling apart. We're, you know, restructuring our foundation, all of that stuff. It's triggering all of those, like those beliefs and stuff in like our unstable foundation within ourselves, right? So what's happening is your inner child is the child that needs, what did you need as a kid? Did you feel unsafe and like you needed your parents' reassurance, like it's going to be okay? Did you need like a hug from them? Did you need comfort? Did you need words? What did you need from them? And oftentimes when you're triggered now, that inner child need is still there. What you didn't get as a kid is still there. Did you need your parents, you know, attention? Did you need words, comfort, whatever you needed? And it could be more than one thing, and it could have been a lot of things. So when your inner child is triggered like that, like you need to give yourself what you needed back then. So if you're feeling unsafe now, or you're feeling uncomfortable now because you don't know what's going to happen, or it just feels like a lot of changes are taking place. If you think about yourself as like a child, and that inner child is a 5-year-old is about to go to a new school or something like that, and they don't know what's going on. They don't know any of these people. It's a whole new world to them. They're scared as shit. What do they need you to do? Just push them in the classroom and be like, you'll be fine? Or do they need your comfort? Like, look, it's going to be okay. Like, you're going to meet people, blah, blah, blah. And you explain things to them and you give them the reassurance. You give them a hug, like, I'm right here. I'm going to pick you up at this time. You kind of let them know things. Sometimes you as an adult need that. You need to tell yourself like, yeah, I'm a little bit scared right now, but we're good. I got this. We're going to be okay. And you're basically the adult to the child in you. I feel like I said that a little funky, but I hope it made sense, like the way I outwardly said it. And that's kind of what's going on with this I deserve and the validation card. Like, a lot of you guys are seeing how you were mistreated, seeing areas, like, I keep wanting to cry as I'm saying these things, like seeing areas where You were mistreated. You didn't get your needs met. You didn't get what you deserved. You didn't get the validation. You didn't get what you needed. Like either, and it might be any or all of these things where you had feelings and your parents wanted you to prioritize their needs over your own, or where you had emotions or feelings and you tried to talk and your parents ignored you, or they were distracted, or they made you feel uncomfortable with your feelings, or they called you a crybaby and said things to you, or why are you acting like that? Grow up. Why are you feeling like this? They ridiculed you for your feelings when you were feeling like unsafe. They either ignored you, they mocked you, they just didn't care, they didn't listen, whatever it is. And if you think about it as a kid, we have emotional needs, we have this curiosity about the world, but there's also so much that's unknown to us. There's so many things that we don't understand. And we look to our parents for guidance. We look to our parents for love. We look to our parents for support, for validation, for reassurance. And a lot of us did not get that. And some of what's going on for people right now is they're seeing all these things they didn't get. And they're seeing how it relates to them not giving it to themselves as an adult. And they're seeking it in the wrong people. They're seeking it in people, but they're also seeking it oftentimes in the wrong people and or in the wrong ways. And what you should be doing is giving it to yourself, going within and giving it to you. When you're doing that, you're actually healing the past. You're feeling all those old feelings you had as a kid, and you're healing the past. And if you've ever noticed, like, when you fully kind of heal something, a trauma or something that was really traumatic to you that you used to talk about, you'd probably have a lot of emotions, whether it's, sadness or anger or whatever it is, right? You'd have a lot of emotions. After you kind of do the work and you heal it, there's still the memory, there's still the thought and all that, but there's no emotion to it. Like you can just say, like, as neutral as I'm saying this, it's just like super neutral. It's because you've healed that energetic emotional core to that, like that attachment to that trauma. But while that's still lingering there, you're still feeding it with other things subconsciously, and you're keeping yourself stuck in cycles. And that's why it's important to be honest with yourself too, because and this relates to the beginning message, is like when you're distracting, you're telling your inner child that your feelings don't matter. You don't deserve to be seen. You don't deserve to be heard. Let's just ignore your feelings. They don't matter. We can't handle them. You're not strong enough to handle them. You're, whatever. Sit in the discomfort and breathe through it. Remind yourself you're safe. Let yourself know you're safe. Give yourself reassurance and validation. And as you're doing that, those feelings that are heavy they calm down. They get easier. They don't keep coming in and being overwhelming. They're only overwhelming because you're finally feeling them. You're feeling them for the first, second, third time, and you're trying to resolve them now. Oftentimes when we get hit with those overwhelming feelings, we try to distract, we try to avoid, we try to run away, we try to do something rather than just sitting and balancing our energy and bring ourselves back to center. And what I say that is, if you're feeling really overwhelmed, instead of resisting it, is one of the best things for me is to do it. Obviously, whatever resonates with you and works for your energy, is when I'm feeling really overwhelmed, I oftentimes feel it in my heart chakra. It's a lot of energy right here. I usually just try to sit and I breathe and I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And it calms down, usually not even in a minute. Sometimes a little bit longer, depends on if I'm getting energy or it's my own shit. But if it's my own shit, it almost always calms down in less than a minute. But the problem is you try to distract. And what happens is when you distract, you literally shove all that energy back in. So now that energy keeps growing and it feels even worse. When you let it come out, it goes away. Like it feels, after like literally within a few minutes, you just feel better. And then it's almost like you cry or you release something and you feel lighter and you feel more emotional and you can feel the stuff you've been kind of blocking and stuff. But it's important to feel those things and deal with them, because you're going to be, one, dealing with them longer term, two, they're going to grow, so they're going to feel even worse if you're not dealing with them when they're coming up. I give people this example and it really is true. It's the same thing like if you have like food poisoning or something like that. Your body is trying to reject the poison. So you're throwing up or you're going to the bathroom, right? One or the other or both. The energy is doing the same thing. It's like emotional poison, toxic energy in your body. It's trying to come up. So when you're shoving it back down, you're actually making yourself sick, and you're going to make yourself sick. It's the same thing like if you had food poisoning and you're not actually getting rid of the poison in your body, what do you think it's going to do? It's actually going to make you more sick and make it worse long term. So like, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you do that to your body? Don't you deserve like to be heard? Don't you deserve to feel calm, to have reassurance, to have safety, to have love? Like, don't you deserve those things? And it's like, I'm not really asking you because you do. Like, it's really you do. Like, everybody does. There's no reason you don't. Like, you deserve those things, but it's up to you to give them to yourself. Like, it sucks when we don't have the childhoods we wanted. We don't have the parents that love us. I know I've went through this, and I've talked to so many other people who are the same way. Is, you know, when we had parents who were unloving or abusive and unkind to us and emotionally neglectful, like when we're kids, we often like fantasize about having other families, or we meet, you know, adult role models who like they have kids and they're so great to their kids, or they're so like loving and kind, and we wish those people were our parents. And a lot of us go through that. And it's because as kids, we know we deserve that. As kids, we know that's what we need. We're energetically pulled toward them because we intuitively know we deserve that and we need that. But what happens is the more we keep getting slammed with the shit from our childhoods and our parents over and over and over, we start believing what they tell us. We start feeling that what they're saying is truth. And we start developing unhealthy coping skills for connection to ourselves and other people, for our needs, for our emotions, and our connection with ourselves and other people. And that's where we stay in these long ass fucking cycles, because we are so normalized to them that we do all these things so subconsciously, we don't even know we're doing them, that relate to that bullshit we were taught when we were fucking kids. So we have to sit with our shit. We have to go within. We have to talk to ourselves. We have to give ourselves that love. And every single time you are behaving in a way that is showing love to yourself, you are doing something, even when it's uncomfortable, but it's showing up for what you actually want for your life. It's showing up for yourself. Even if it's hard to do, you're actually healing the past. You're helping to release that. And a lot of times what people don't realize is it feels like it's overwhelming, and it feels like you're making the wrong choice because you've been guilted and shamed into thinking that people pleasing and kissing people's asses and chasing or avoiding whatever one yours is, usually they're interchangeable, is what love is what connection is, until you start sitting with your shit and you realize it's not that at all. And so when you're making that change, what you're doing is you're triggering all this energy from the past where you were doing that unhealthy coping skill. And so it's triggering that inner child who's like, ooh, we're doing something new. We're doing something different. This feels unsafe. I don't understand. Let's just go back to what I know. Let's just go back to what I know, because that's what I feel safe with. Even though it sucks here, like, it's what I know though. And it feels safer than what I don't know. But what you don't realize is on the other side of what you don't know is actually what you want. So yeah. Sorry, I was like trying to like, do you want me to read these? I'm going to read the bottoms of these too. So like I said, these are the inner child cards. The I deserve card, my inner child. I deserve my inner child to be seen. I deserve my voice to be heard. I deserve my needs to be met. I deserve love, support, and kindness. I deserve patience and compassion. And that patience and compassion is really popping out strong right now. The validation, my feelings are valid, my needs are valid, my desires are valid, my emotions are valid. So please start giving these things to yourself, and please start doing things that align with what you want, and cut out behaviors and distractions and people and things that don't align what you fully want. Because every time you're putting the energy into them, you're subconsciously telling yourself that you don't deserve or you can't have what it is you actually want. But the reason you can't have it is because you're not making the choices to have it. And they keep stressing this. All you need to do is make a decision today. It doesn't matter what you did in the past. It doesn't matter how much you ran away, you avoided, whatever. All you need to do is make that decision today and stick with it and move forward with it today. Don't worry about the past and whatever you did. Stick with what I want today and move forward with it, and don't keep repeating the past stuff, and just change it from here on out. And you're good. They just keep stressing that. So anyway, I hope that this helped. I hope you guys all have an awesome night.